And we are back, flipped around now. So second video, no big deal. I can post lots of videos. It won't bother y'all, I'm sure. Huh. Okay, so I have created some word problems here. I've used some of our kiddos as an example, and it's gonna be kind of crazy here. I'm gonna try to film and write, so kind of bear with me. In the end, I promise you will be able to see what I've done here. So far I've generated my own word problem. You're gonna see 3 different word problems when I show you this here, and I'll tell you kind of the reason as we go on why it's good to do different ones. So Elliot, our sweet Elliot, has 223 apples. Then he gave 94 away. How many apples does he have now? Okay, so I've just totally created this word problem from my brain, totally random. You guys can do this. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with we call this a beginning, middle, and end chart, just to kind of organize my thoughts here. So if Elliot has 223 apples, that's what he has to start with. That's the beginning of my word problem. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write 223 in that box, okay? He then gave away 94. Okay, so I have an action happening there, and it's gonna be subtraction because he gave them away. He's not getting more. Gave away would mean we're subtracting, and he gave away 94. So I have an action that's always gonna be in the middle of your chart. I have an action, and it's giving away 94 apples. So then at the end of my problem, let's read the last sentence. How many apples does he have now? Okay, so we don't have a number there anymore. We had 223, we had 94, and now we don't have a number, okay? So that is what we call an unknown, okay? So we put that unknown at the end, in this case, in our word problem. Now you're gonna see in some future ones that the unknown can move spots, and I highly encourage you to move that unknown to different spots so that you're solving different types of word problems. So now that we have our beginning, middle, and end charts set up here, we can do a couple things. We can go ahead and try to solve it. Some kids might look at this and say, I got this. I know how to set this up and solve it. But maybe we need to go step by step. Okay, so now I'm gonna create something called a part whole map. Okay, and this looks something like this, okay? Just another way to organize our thoughts, okay? So the top is gonna be our whole, and then these are our 2 parts. And in a second, once we do this, I'm gonna show you how this helps us set up our final equation to solve if you don't understand it quite yet. So we need to figure out what's gonna be our whole and what are our 2 parts, okay? These 2 parts are always gonna equal this whole. They can't be bigger than the whole, okay? You don't have a whole pizza right here, okay? You have to be able to split it into parts. And so in this case, my whole is 223 apples. He never has any more apples than that. That's the most he ever has, because then he just gives some away. He's not gonna end up with more. That wouldn't make any sense. So in my whole in this case, I'm gonna put my 223 up here. Now knowing that, I know this has to be my 94, that's a part. And then the other part is what he has now. He had 223 as his whole. He gave away part, and then he still has a part left. Like if you have a piece of pizza and you give away some pieces, you still have part of the pizza left. Okay, so he still has some left. So that's where our good old question mark goes, our little unknown. Okay, I love a part whole organizer because I can do what I'm about to right here, and I'm gonna draw a fact family through it, okay? And my kids know that this fact family triangle is super helpful when setting up an equation. So now I have my beginning, middle, and end chart, and I have my part whole, and I'm ready to put a fact family triangle into it. Our fact family triangle we always set up like this: subtraction and plus. And the reason I drew a triangle through my part whole organizer, kind of ruined it, but it's gonna help me move these numbers. I'm just gonna follow where the triangle hits. So the tip of my triangle is where my whole is. So that's gonna be 223. The bottom points of my triangle are my two parts. So I could just move them over. 94, question mark. So now we know that in a fact family triangle, we can move any direction. I can move 223 minus 94 equals my unknown. I can go 223 minus my unknown equals 94. I could do 94 plus my unknown gets me 223. I can move in any direction I want to move, okay? So in this case, looking at this, I only want to go one direction because if I go any other direction, my unknown is in the middle of my problem and that doesn't make my life easy. I can only go 223 minus 94 equals my unknown. So let's set that up, and we've practiced this. Minus 94 equals. I'm gonna line up my numbers and then I'm gonna solve. Okay, so, Ooh, Miss Stratton gave y'all a toughie to solve here. We're gonna have to regroup and borrow, aren't we? Okay, so 3 minus 4. Is that possible? No, I can't take 4 away from 3. That would put me in all kinds of trouble. So I'm gonna have to go to my next door neighbor and say, I need to borrow a 10 from you, because this is technically in the tens place, right? I'm gonna need to borrow a 10 from you, Mr. 23. Okay, so I'm gonna change this. It's not a 2 anymore. I'm only gonna have one 10 in that tens place. And I'm gonna move that 10 I just stole and put it over here with my 3. So if I move the 10 over here to my 3, 10 plus 3 is 13. So no more 3, now it's 13. Ooh, there we go, much better. Can I take 4 from 13? Totally. I'm gonna get 9. Okay, and now 1 minus 9. Uh-oh, can't do that. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to my next door neighbor over here in the hundreds place. Can I borrow a 100 from you? Regroup in here. Yep, they said, yep, I can borrow. So now I'm only gonna have one 100 in that place, and instead of this being a 1 now, 110, it's gonna be 11 tens, because I just took 100 from over here, which we really know is 10 tens, right? Base 10 blocks. We just moved it over. Okay, so now 11 minus 9 is 2. 1 minus, oh, nothing there, 0. 1 minus 0, I still have 1. Look at that, we just solved our problem.